Hey cat lovers, and welcome back to another video. Last video, we shared 12 surprising facts about male cats. So naturally, we had to dedicate our next video to the ladies. That's right, a girl cat is so much more than just a pretty face. Believe it or not, there are many fascinating things about female cats that are unique to their sex. Some of these might surprise you. So let's get started with this list of 12 fascinating facts about female cats. Cream Puff won the Guinness World Record for the oldest cat ever after living 38 years and 3 days. That's right, this tabby mix female was born on the 3rd of August, 1967, and lived until the 6th of August, 2005. Cream Puff lived in Austin, Texas with her owner Jake Perry. But it gets even more bizarre because Cream Puff isn't the first of Jake's cats to win this record. The previous record holder from 1998 was given to his cat Grandpa Rex Allen, who lived to be 34. According to Jake, about a third of his cats have lived to be at least 30 years old, which is about twice the average lifespan for a feline. So, what's the secret? Jake said that on top of feeding his cats dry commercial cat food, they were also given home-cooked eggs, turkey bacon, broccoli, coffee with cream, and every 2 days about an eyedropper full of red wine to circulate the arteries. Just for the record, while it's possible that Jake uncovered the secret to feline longevity, experts don't recommend giving cats coffee or wine, so we don't know how to explain this one. Yes, you heard that right. Sometimes a litter of kittens can come from multiple baby daddies. This phenomenon is known as superfecundation. Believe it or not, if a female cat mates with more than one male during her fertile period, her eggs can potentially be fertilized by more than one male. This phenomenon also happens in other animals, like dogs and cows, and although extremely rare, it can also happen in humans. So how can you tell if a litter came from multiple fathers? Well, look to see if the kittens are a range of different colors. They might also vary in size and have different characteristics from each other. But even if the kittens look pretty similar, that doesn't always mean they have the same father. In a scenario where the mom and all the fathers are purebreds of the same breed, it can be impossible to know for sure if superfecundation occurred without a DNA test, in which case, it's time to call Maury. You are the father. Believe it or not, most cats also have a dominant paw, just like humans tend to have a dominant hand. Cats can have a dominant paw for scenarios where they have to reach for food, walk upstairs, step over an object, and so on. But what's even more interesting is that paw preference actually differs by sex. Unlike males, who tend to prefer their left paws, females usually prefer their right paws. In fact, a study found that 52% of female cats showed a right-sided paw preference, about 27% showed a left paw preference, and about 20% showed no preference at all. I think these findings are pretty clear. Females are usually right. On average, female cats live 1 to 2 years more than male cats. Although the exact reasoning for this longer life expectancy isn't totally clear, what we do know is that other factors are much more likely to determine a cat's lifespan. For example, whether a cat is indoor or outdoor. According to WebMD, outdoor cats live an average of 2 to 5 years. Indoor cats typically live 10 to 15 years. When we mentioned this stat in our last video, some of you found it hard to believe, which is why I have to point out that these findings are based on averages. So while it's possible for an outdoor cat to live a long life, you have to remember that the dangers of the outside world, such as cars, diseases, and predators, bring the average age down. Also, whether or not a cat is spayed is a big deciding factor, which leads us to our next fact. A study done by Banfield Pet Hospitals, based on a database of 460,000 cats, found that spayed female cats live 39% longer than unspayed females. There are a few reasons for this. A spayed female is completely eliminated from the risk of ovarian and uterine cancers because the ovaries and uterus are removed during the operation. A spayed female is at a reduced risk for breast and mammary cancers, as well as mammary and reproductive tumors. In fact, if a female is spayed before her first heat cycle, the rate of her developing breast tumors drops to nearly zero. Finally, a spayed cat is also spared from other life-threatening diseases, such as pyometra, which is a severe uterine infection that is almost always fatal if undetected. Needless to say, the less likely a cat is to catch a deadly disease, the more likely she is to live a long life. It's well known that a female cat is called a molly or a queen. Molly is a generic nickname used for a female cat of any age. Queen is used when the cat is pregnant and about to give birth to her kittens. This term is derived from the word queening, which refers to the birthing process. A female continues to be called a queen until she stops nursing and raising her kittens. After that, she's a molly once again. There is also a third, lesser-known nickname, dam. This term is used to describe a purebred cat used for breeding, or an older female. A tortoiseshell cat has a bicolored coat that looks like the shell of a tortoise, usually ginger and black. Similarly, a calico has a tricolor coat with a white base and orange and black patches. It turns out that most calicos and tortoiseshells are females thanks to their DNA. Remember, females have two X chromosomes, while males have one X and one Y. Since two X chromosomes are needed to make a calico or tortoiseshell coat, these patterns are almost always reserved for females. But there is an exception. Although very rare, a male tortoiseshell or calico is possible if he is born with an extra X chromosome. This occurrence is extremely uncommon, in fact. A study found that only 1 out of every 3,000 calico cats is male. According to WebMD, the average female cat will go into her first heat cycle between 6 and 9 months of age. But a female can be as old as 12 months or as young as 4 months. Yes, you heard that right. A cat can start her heat cycle as young as 4 months old, which means it's possible for her to get pregnant at that age. Certain factors, such as breed, increase the chances of maturing early. For example, a Siamese is known to mature early around 4 months. A Persian tends to mature later, closer to 12 months. A study done with cats at Partners for Pets Animal Shelter in Troy, Illinois, found that female cats stayed at the shelter longer than males. Specifically, females, average of 8 months. Males, average of 6 months. This is likely because many people believe male cats are more affectionate than females. While some experts think there may be some truth to this, most agree that a cat's affection level usually boils down to their individual personality. So if you're thinking about adopting a cat, we strongly encourage you to base your decision on how well you bond with the cat instead of their sex. A cat colony is a group of outside cats that stay close to food and shelter. Interestingly, males and females play different roles. Females tend to stay together in colonies to help each other raise and guard kittens. Males remain on their own to avoid competing for females and food. When males aren't off on their own, they usually just hang around the edges waiting for the chance to mate. It turns out that Bella isn't just a popular name for human girls. According to Nationwide Pet Insurance's policyholder database, the most popular female cat name for 2021 was Bella. The name Bella means beautiful in Italian. It's also a common nickname for Isabella, Annabella, and Arabella, but is increasingly popular as a standalone name. If you have a cat named Bella, let us know in the comments. A list of the top 10 richest pets from the 2018 Pet Rich list revealed. 1. The richest pet was a dog named Gunther 4. 2. Number 2 was the internet-famous Grumpy Cat, real name, Tartar Sauce. Her net worth was estimated at over $99 million. Sadly, she passed away in 2019. 3. Third on the list was Taylor Swift's cat Olivia Benson, named after a character from Law & Order, SVU. Thanks to her huge social media presence and appearances in ads for Coca-Cola and Keds shoes, Olivia Benson has an estimated net worth of $97 million. Which of these female cat facts did you find the most surprising? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, please give this video a like. It helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. And we all know that cats rightfully deserve to rule the internet. So, let's keep it that way.